on to the Hollywood ending for Wrexham. They move on to the fourth round, which has been their best ever run, or they're equaling their best ever run under the new owners, which is Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney. All right, let's welcome in the rest of our crew who are pitchside at the racecourse ground, who witnessed all of this from start to finish. Alex Aljoe clearly did not want any of us to go home early and chill out because she predicted extra time. She predicted penalties. Alex, what an absolute blockbuster of a game.
I did. I did, didn't I? I said 1-1 though, didn't I? Not 3-3. It was an absolutely unbelievable cup tie. Yep. Another chapter in Wrexham's fairy tale. What a night for Phil Parkinson and his players.
Oh my gosh, what a night, what a game, what an occasion, and what great atmosphere as well. The place was bouncing from the first whistle to the final whistle. Obviously, when the winning penalty goes in as well, and the goalkeeper makes a great save for the final penalty. Wow, the eruption, the sound was absolutely out of this world. I loved it. This is what we love about football, the underdog story. We've seen it again. You know, I love it. This is me all in a nutshell.
Nottingham Forest did well though, didn't they, to come back from behind, and we saw the strength of their bench maybe compared to Wrexham's. There were some nervy moments in extra time for Wrexham. The fans couldn't look, could they?
No, and listen, when you look at the quality of the bench of Nottingham Forest, you look at the value of them as the players as well. You understand why they're Premier League side. You understand why the expectations is much higher than what the performances are. You know, last season they finished 7th in the Premier League. You know, European football this season. It's a shame that the fans aren't able to get behind nice football, entertaining football, like especially what we saw in the second half. And it was disappointing from a Forest perspective. But look, we have to put that to one side, and we've got to give the props to Wrexham. They were fantastic today. They were resilient. Obviously, it was difficult. They're up against a Premier League side. But they've shown they could rub shoulders with some of the Premier League's, with Premier League quality teams.
Absolutely, absolutely. A historic night for Wrexham. And you said it could actually be a good thing, maybe, for Nottingham Forest that they did go through tonight.
Yes, I did. And the reason I said that is because now they've got no distractions. You know, they can focus solely on the Premier League. And it's disappointing, don't get me wrong. But look, when your results aren't really going your way, they've lost 5 of the last 6 games in all comps. They've got to knuckle down. They've got to figure it out. They've got to get together and really start finding their feet again. Maybe this is the catalyst for that.
Speaking of distractions, though, what does this mean for Wrexham? Because they want to go
Premier
up to the
League.
Premier League, but now
that's what they're
on a cup run as well.
Exactly. Listen, they want to try and go as far as they possibly can in the Premier League and in the FA Cup. And why not? Why not dream? You know, the last 3 years have been absolutely out of this world. Who's to say that it should be ended now? Nobody. I say give it your all in every single game. Phil Parkinson has done a phenomenal job. Obviously, the owners, everybody knows about those guys as well. But, you know, on a day-to-day basis, the boss is in there working with these players and getting the absolute maximum out of every single one of them. Long may it continue for him.
Jermaine, who stood out for you today? I know that you thought Sam Smith put a shift in, didn't he?
Do you know what? Yes, and I do feel for him a little bit considering he didn't score a goal. However, I thought he was brilliant. I thought he led the line really well against Premier League opposition. I thought he was just a pest. He was non-stop. So, as a centre forward, as a number 9, I have to give it to him. But every single one of those players today, including the boys that were on the bench that came on, I thought they were all superb.
And for Nottingham Forest, what a difference Callum Hudson-Odoi made when he came on.
For me, when he came on, he was the best player on the pitch.
And I spoke about this before the game, that Wrexham will take this opportunity to know where they are in terms of a Premier League pecking order.
Where do you feel they are now after what we saw?
What we saw in the second half, I think they still have a lot to do. And I know that's a difficult task, kind of given the spending that's occurred all throughout this meteoric rise they've had to the Championship to this point. And then you're faced, if you do get promoted, and they themselves are just outside the playoff spots, if you do get promoted, do you stick with those players who got you into the Premier League, or do you bring in players who, at the very least, you believe are Premier League quality and will keep you there? And that's always the conundrum that every single manager, every single football club who are promoted has to deal with. Do you show faith or do you look for quality elsewhere? But those are the problems that football clubs and football managers want to have. Right now, I think if Phil Parkinson is looking back on this 120 minutes, he recognizes that they are still well short of where they should be if they get promoted and want to stay up in the Premier League.
Well, on the other side of the coin now is Nottingham Forest, who we spoke about a lot in the pre-show, given their struggles now in the Premier League, given the fact that they've brought in Sean Dyche, who is a survival specialist. We know where their priorities are, but should Sean Dyche probably have played a stronger 11, you think, considering the pendulum swung in their favour much in that second half?
Well, I said, again, at kickoff, if Forest go out, they then have those, well, certainly during, I think, fourth and fifth round, you've got free weekends, you've got those opportunities to rest players, to look, because right now, survival is absolutely paramount. And while, yes, they got the better of West Ham on the weekend, and that put a nice little buffer between themselves and third bottom.
But you even said a good cup run would actually boost them.
I feel a good cup run boosts those ambitions. So that was my feeling pre-game. And then all of a sudden, he makes these changes at half-time. Forest are by far the better team in the second half, get themselves back to 3-3, and at the very end of the game, makes changes during extra time, and I felt they didn't really replicate what you saw in that second 45. In extra time played out as two teams just trying to get to penalties. And that was a disappointing thing from a Nottingham Forest perspective, as far as I see, especially after the first half.
Well, I don't think Phil Parkinson, Wrexham manager, will be disappointed at all with what he saw from his boys, and he's pitch side with Alex Aljoe right now. Let's hear from him.
Yeah, Phil Parkinson certainly not disappointed with what he saw this evening. Phil, huge congratulations, through to the fourth round, knocked out Nottingham Forest. How do you feel?
Yeah, really good actually, because I always want us to acquit ourselves well when these big days come, and I felt we did. Unlucky not to win in normal time, and I felt it deflated. It's naturally that's going to happen, and we went into extra time, and there was a feeling of acceptance almost in the ground and the team, and we had to raise ourselves again. And credit to the lads for the character, because after the Christmas period to go into extra time against the Premiership team is one almighty effort from both sides, but from us in particular, playing against a team of the pedigree of Nottingham Forest.
What pleased you most about that performance tonight?
I think I was pleased we carried a threat all night in terms of the attacking play. We always looked like we could create and score against them, and even through some tired legs, we still had some great chances to have taken the game away from them. So that's obviously always pleasing that we look like we can create chances.
Do you know what? One of my favourite things is, as you just mentioned there, you continue to offer chances and opportunities, and against a Premier League side, that is fantastic. Congratulations on that. Congratulations on the performance in itself, and obviously the result. There are areas to improve on naturally, which we're expecting. You're up against the Premier League side, so they are going to find those areas. Is there anything in particular that you're looking at improving for the next round, or obviously the victory speaks for itself, doesn't it?
I think if you look at it, and I'm sure when we analyse the game back, the moments where we didn't defend quite right, you get punished, and that is the next level up. And like the header on the back stick, and I think we got done on a 1-2, and little moments that the detail has got to be that little bit notch higher than it is. As we've come up through divisions, we've realised it. Now tonight was a Premiership club, and if you don't get the detail right, you can get punished. But equally, like you say, it's a bit of a trade-off, because we had quite an attacking team on the pitch tonight, and we always looked like we could score at the other end.
Had you been practicing penalties this week in training?
We did have a practice yesterday. I'm glad that we remembered. So we did. And listen, pleased for Jay Rodriguez. I've got to give Jay a special mention, because he's been out injured all season, and tough, but he's such a great lad to have around the building. And he's had a great moment tonight, but obviously Arthur will take the headlines, and that's very special for him, and 2 great saves.
Phil, how do you manage this now? Obviously, push for promotion, but at the same time could go on a really exciting cup run.
Yeah, listen, we're in it tonight to win the game, you know what I mean? And I just think cup runs bring momentum and confidence, and the feel-good factor, if it needed to be heightened, it has tonight. Great, and we've got a good squad. We may add to it, but we've got good players coming back. Lewis Brunt's back in training this week. We've got Danny Ward back in training. Andy Cannon's back. So we've got other players coming back in as well. So the squad will be even stronger when we come to the next round.
Do they get the day off tomorrow?
They've definitely got the day off tomorrow.
There you
Party
go.
with
That's
Ryan
all.
this evening.
No, I think Ryan's going back. But listen, it was great to see him before the game, and it's very special when our owners come here. That they see kind of the feeling of the emotion in the ground again. I know they've seen it time and time again, but it's just a reminder what this club means.
Just finally, before we let you go, Shaka Hislop's in the studio and he wants to say congratulations to you.
Huge
Thanks,
congrats,
Shaka.
Sparky. Huge
Great
congrats.
to hear from you, mate.
Good to see you.
There is a good goalkeeper. Great goalkeeper.
I
Yeah.
saved it too.
Oh, definitely.
Phil, thank you so much for your time. Congratulations. We'll see you in the next rounds. Yeah, brilliant to hear from Phil there. Comes across so well, doesn't he?
He does. Listen, and he's enjoying the moment. He's in the moment. And look, well played to himself. The tactics were spot on. And as I mentioned before, every single one of the players above and beyond, didn't they? They delivered today.